15% of the world's population suffers from migraines. Over 10 years, the number of migraine sufferers has grown by 56% among women and 34% among men. Migraine is a headache which is most often felt as a throbbing pain on one side of the head and made worse by moving around. Sometimes it's accompanied by vomiting, nausea, a sensitivity to any light and to any noises. Its frequency can vary between a few attacks per year to several days a week, and on average, they last between 4 and 72 hours. So what do we know about migraines? It's a complex medical condition for which we don't yet know all the causes. Yet what we do know is that it depends on genetic factors, and then again also on environmental factors, which are equally triggers for any attack. Among such factors, we've found stress, alcohol consumption, food, altitude, hormones, lack of sleep, fatigue, and indeed others. During a migraine, the pain doesn't come straight from the brain. Instead, it stems from its membranous coverings, called the meninges. So what triggers a migraine? If we go back to the triggering factors, various types of food, altitude, stress, etc., each has nothing to do with the other. And yet, there is one common denominator: TRP channels. These are receptors located at the peripheral level, just as much in the meninges as all other structures of the body, the digestive and respiratory systems, the eyes, for example. Well, these are the ones activated by environmental factors, but not only these, they are also mediators of pain. What happens inside the brain during a migraine? Once activated, these receptors send all this information to different areas of the brain, such as the hypothalamus, the brainstem areas, the cortex, etc. Normally, the brain can handle all these messages with no problem. Yet the brain of a migraine sufferer is not like everyone else's. It's on permanent alert. All this incoming information builds up until a critical threshold is reached, triggering a migraine attack. Neurons, which innervate the meninges and the vessels, are thus stimulated and release neuropeptides such as CGRP and substance P. They then go on to cause inflammation and dilation of the vessels. In their turn, the substances released by the inflammation go on to stimulate the TRP receptors once again. What do we know about these TRP receptors? These were discovered recently and constitute a large family which is involved in cellular responses. Two of them, the A1 and V1 receptors, are known to play a role in the triggering of migraine attacks and pain transmission. This is today one of the most studied pathways while researching all sorts of illnesses. Why would TRP receptors be of interest in treating migraine? Existing preventive treatments are already old and non-specific. These are anti-epileptic medicines, beta blockers, antidepressants, and anti-inflammatory compounds. Today, there exist two new therapeutic channels: antibodies directed against CGRP receptors, peptides secreted at the meningeal level and responsible in part for inflammation. Yet this treatment is still very expensive and only available to patients for whom at least 2 previous conventional treatments have proven ineffective. The second development in preventing migraines has been in TRPA1 and V1 receptors. For a long time, research was directed at antagonists, which could inhibit them. The problem is that by inhibiting a TRP receptor, the cell, which is constantly stimulated by its environment, produces more of it. To cope with this problem, scientists turn to natural molecules, which have the ability to desensitize these receptors. Desensitization differs from deactivation. The receptor is still present, but does not respond to external stimuli. This particular state of the TRP does not cause massive production of new receptors. For the migraine patient, by limiting the number of TRPA1 and V1 active receptors, triggering of the migraine attack is prevented. Clinical studies performed at our laboratory show a significant reduction in the frequency and the severity of attacks, as well as a noticeable improvement in patients' quality of life. The natural active ingredients neither exhibit any toxicity nor side effects. HERBAMIG is currently sold as a food supplement, as it only contains natural elements. The dosage is 1 capsule per day to be taken with a glass of water. 1 box represents 1 month's treatment. According to patients, the cure lasts 3 months, with the possibility of a repeat if an increase in the frequency of attacks is experienced. Our laboratory is committed to developing products of the highest possible quality. All of our active ingredients are in dosages, and our plants are titrated. We observe the strictest quality standards and are ceaseless in our scientific research, along with our numerous partner laboratories. Developing HERBAMIG took 20 years of research, and our VITROBIO Nature Vita laboratory was awarded the Prince Louis of Polignac Prize in 2006 for its scientific innovations by the Academy of Sciences.